what we're going to do now, Cecil, is I'm going to show you this. I have two series of photographs. There's 12 pictures in each photograph. Okay, they're individual pictures. And what I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to leave them here, and I want you to shuffle them up face down, because they're face down right now, as you can see. Shuffle them up, put them back together, and then I'm going to ask you to look at them one at a time. Okay? And I want you to look at the pictures, and I want you to tell me if you recognize anyone.
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me if you recognize anyone for any reason. Okay? And what that reason is. And what I'll ask you to do is I'll ask you to write no if you don't recognize them and initial it. Or I'll ask you to write yes if you recognize them and then write the reason why. Okay? Bear in mind that some of the people in this picture, it could be somebody that you know by mere coincidence. And I need you to tell me that. You might tell me that it was somebody you went to grade school with, okay? For example. Okay, just hang on. Once you look at the pictures, if you do recognize somebody and you tell me why, I want you to keep looking at the rest of the pictures until you finish all 12. Okay? And do you have any questions regarding this? You understand what I've asked you to do?
Yeah.
Can you see okay? You notice I have to put glasses on.
Yeah, I see.
But
If I recognize them, do what?
If you recognize them, I want you to tell me yes. I want you to write yes on the front at the bottom and tell me why you recognize them. Okay, so shuffle those up for me. Okay, one face down there. And I want you to pick them up and look at each picture. And I'm going to give you a pen here, okay? And you can write either no or yes and initial.
Looks familiar, but I can't say that I do.
Okay. And just down here, just write no. And just put your initials beside the no. Or anywhere you want. There you go. Okay, now turn it over and leave it over there.
Never seen this person in my life.
Okay.
Another person never met. Well, looks a little bit familiar, but I can't say.
Correct, this is photo line of 06 4257.
Sorry, 06.
4257.
This guy looks a little bit familiar. Probably seen him in passing, but I can't really see where.
That's fine.
So that's kind of a no. Another person. Probably glad I never met. Where do you find these people? Never seen them before. I know-
Bear in mind, Cecil, also that, you know, people change, right? Their hair gets cut or goes
No,
longer,
if I
they put on
see these
weight.
people, I would know.
I just wanna make
have a
sure I
feeling
should-
I'm gonna see some people I know pretty soon.
Wow.
In here, and I'm not looking forward to it, but, still another, not another hit, but this guy, good. No hit. Where do these people come from? This guy looks a bit more familiar. I can't see where. Smiling guy, could see him. I'm not sure where. I wonder if you guys have the right people, because I'm not finding it here. Let me see this guy. You have pictures here. Oh, yeah.
I got more.
Well, yep, this guy I've seen.
Okay.
Poor sucker. I don't know what's in his head. Why he's so stupid.
Okay. Tell me where you've seen him.
Oh, I seen him hanging around Jocko's house and around Malvern and around Coat Trail and all over the place.
How many times would you have seen him?
Maybe about 50 times somewhere. Should I write my initials?
Yep. Now you said you've seen him around Jackal's house. You also said, Craig, that he's stupid.
I said he's a sucker.
He's a sucker. Why is he a sucker?
Because he's just around like a sucker, sucking off people like a leech. Like, why doesn't he go, he says he has kids, why doesn't he go take care of them? Instead of hanging around people and looking for like change to fall out their pockets or something.
When's the last time you saw him?
Last time I saw him, a couple days before all this incident happened.
That was the last time you saw him?
Yeah.
You didn't see him the day of the incident?
I couldn't really say I saw him. I might have seen like a shadow that could have looked like him, but I couldn't really say it was him, you know. I don't know.
Where?
Well, if I was to pick the shadow, I seen a shadow that night around Jocko's house that could have looked like could have been him.
Okay, around Jackal's house, but whereabouts around Jackal's
Like
house?
around when this incident was happening. The shadow that was hanging outside the door. But I can't say 100% it was him,
Okay.
but that's the only shadow that kind of looked like the leech like him.
Okay, so you can't say 100%, but you said that you saw him hang around outside the door, or was he one of the three people that came in the house?
Well, if I had to take a bet.
I don't want you to bet, I don't want you to guess.
Well, you know what? I didn't see him. Just put it that way. But a leech like him could have been a loser that would be hanging out somebody's door like that. You know, I couldn't think of any other type of losers that would do that.
Look at that last one, and then we'll talk about the other one.
This guy. I don't know this guy. Really.
Okay, right now.
I don't know. Maybe if he. I don't know. I don't know this guy. Can't really say I know this guy.
Now, it was the second last picture that you said yes, and we had some discussions. First of all, do you know what his name is?
I just know him by the name that he goes by. I don't know his real name.
Okay, what's the name you know him by?
Well, I heard his name was Nuki.
Okay, and where did you hear that?
Where did I hear that? Around, just around, like, around where the Jacko, you know, around the neighborhood.
Okay, you said you'd seen him in Jackal's house just prior to this date. Did you tell me you saw him 3 days before?
Yeah, I've seen him a couple of days before. Maybe I've seen him the day before.
Okay, and so
I've seen him around a lot before
Okay.
this happened.
And you know people to call him Nuki? You've heard people call him Nuki?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard him say, "I'm Nuki"?
No, I heard him answer to that.
You heard him answer to Nuki, okay. We also talked about the gentleman that was at the door, and you told us in your statement originally that you first said that you were somewhere around 75% convinced you knew who the person at the door was. Not the gentleman waving the thing over your
I said
head.
around 50.
Yeah, I think you started at 75 and then you went 65 and 50. Okay, so somewhere between 50 and 75%. And so we're not talking about the gentleman who had the sawed-off gun.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the gentleman who was directly in front of you, who wasn't wearing any hat or hood or mask. We're talking about the gentleman over by the door. Who did you think that gentleman was then?
I didn't say that I knew who it was. I
Who did you
said,
think it was?
judging by like height and the situation that was going on, and because of the kind of identification of the first person, that the two of them were kind of like a team, that I would say, yeah, that it seemed like that person. I can say it was him. For sure.
But seemed like which person? The person whose picture you said
who
was
I just saw.
Nuki. Okay, I'm going to show you another series of 12 pictures. And And I just want you to shuffle them up again for me. And then have a, oh, before we start, Craig, that's photo lineup 06 26 49. Shuffle those up for me. Same thing, just turn them over, look, tell me whether you recognize anyone. And then just turn the picture over.
This guy, I've seen him before someplace, but I don't know his name.
You said you seen him someplace?
Yeah, I don't even know his name. I may know this guy.
Okay, tell me how you may know him.
As I'm saying, I don't know all these people around the neighborhood, but I just see them all the time. Some come up to me and talk to me, and they don't even know me. But this might be that guy. What's his name there? What's his name? Jason or James or whatever. But the guy's uncle, right? Maybe him.
Okay.
Kind of looks like him.
Okay, well, hang on a second here then, because you confused me.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I don't know who we're talking about when we say Jason and the guy's uncle. Where would you have seen this person last?
He looks like a guy around the neighborhood. The guy, is it James or Jason or Jen? I don't know their names yet.
Okay.
But by the name that they, nicknames or whatever,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
What, do you know his nickname?
I can't even say for sure that it's his nickname. But I know a guy go by the name of Butcher.
Butcher.
Yeah.
You're telling me that you recognize that
I
picture?
can't say this recognize him. I can't say I recognize him. I say this looks kind of like him.
Looks kind of like Bouger.
Yeah.
Okay. And where would have been the last time you ever saw this gentleman?
Well, the last time I heard somebody call the name of that, I didn't say I saw the person's face. Right?
Okay.
Was that night?
It was that night when the three people came in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So should I write yes here?
Sure.
Even though his face looks a little different?
But yeah, I think we can explain that away. Put yes. Okay. Turn it over.
Should I go through?
Yes, I want you to go through them all. There may be other people you recognize, there may not be.
These guys look serious, man.